what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Rob, your local problematic Leo, and today we're going to be taking a look at Color CL's latest Ultra Moist collection. Now, I do have to level with you guys a little bit. This is a fairly big collection. We're talking about 2 different styles, 9 different lenses in total, and that's a lot of in and out of my eyes. So I do beg you guys to forgive me if I just go ahead and do some voiceover. We've got some really good close-ups in natural light. I don't think, especially with the kind of like color span that we've got going on, that you guys are really gonna miss the artificial light close-ups too much, because in all reality, all of these lenses are gonna look amazing in artificial light. Plus, the color variations at conversational distances aren't gonna be too intense. You'll see when we get there. Regardless, without ado, let's go ahead and continue on with channel, what is it called? Tradition, where I show you my naked brown eyes while I read the stats. So for these, I did notice a little bit of a change in size as compared to some of our favorites like the Romance series. The lens diameter has actually gone up from 14.0 millimeters up to 14.2 millimeters, and the base curve has increased from 8.5 millimeters up to 8.6. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I definitely did feel the change in size as compared to our previous favorites. However, I don't feel like they're uncomfortable at all, so do with that information as you will. And as always, a pair of these are going to last you about 6 months and cost about $22 at their base price, with prescriptions being at no additional cost. However, Color CL is always running some sort of sale, so keep your eyes out there, and if you wish to support the channel, you can use my affiliate links down in the description box below, as well as my code ROB10 to get 10% off your purchase. Now, before we take a look at each of the individual colors, let's have a quick chat about construction. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, this series actually features 2 different styles. The first one is what I consider to be more of a framing lens. For those of you guys who are not familiar with that terminology, because I made it up. It's a lens that actually has a larger pupil hole for people who have issues with blurriness or any kind of like glare that happens because of the fact that the pupil holes are too tight. There's a lot of folks out there that love a tight pupil hole, specifically those of us who love color and just want to be immersed in it. However, we kind of do need to see out of these lenses, and these framing lenses are actually really perfect for them. They feature these beautiful like striations. They have a lot of like shifts in opacity, so you get parts that are a little bit lighter and a little bit darker, and they do have a little bit of a limbal ring to anchor everything in. Now, the next ones that we're going to be taking a look at are a lot bolder, and I actually consider these to be a little bit more on the lines of like enlarging lenses, which is not something that I do too much of. However, these ones also have some really pretty like striations in the limbal rings, so they do feature the limbal rings, which you know I love. Especially, it's very important for these larger contact lenses to have one to really anchor them into the eye and to prevent any of that weird, I know y'all have seen it on the internets for the people who do the reviews for the contact lenses, where you can see where like their eye starts and like the contact lens is still going over their sclerella. You know what I'm talking about. Well, because of the fact that this features such a prominent limbal ring and some really dense color, it actually cuts down on that a lot. It's not as obvious, so I really love that. But aside from like some soft striationing, they also feature kind of like a duotone to them. Now, it's not as obvious in some colors as it is in others. However, when you realize that it's there, you can kind of play with where the tone sits in your eyes, and oh, it's get really exciting. And I'm gonna kind of bring it up here. Like I said earlier, I had to re-record parts of this, and it's because there is one lens that looks like the exact color of my eye, but there's something special to it, and I didn't notice it until I got it into better lighting. So you know what, without ado, let's go ahead, jump on in. Now, I am going to go ahead and kick things off with the framing lens set. First up is Mount Whitney. Now, I have to say, you guys know I love me a gray, but for some reason, this gray was a little bit on the softer side. It wasn't as bright. Of course, it does blend really nicely into my eyes. It just didn't have the va-va-va-voom that I needed from it, but I'm thinking to myself, it's a framing lens. You put this over like a blue eye, or you put this over a green eye, and oh my god, those 2 colors meshing together are probably gonna do better than these over my warm brown eyes. The next color we're gonna take a look at is one that I'm really excited about, and this is Antigua. So this is the green. Now, if you look at it in the blister, it's kind of weird because it has like this forest green limbal ring. I don't love it so much. I wish I had just a normal like brownie gray limbal ring, but the color in the middle, oh my god, I love it, I love it, I love it. It is like this seafoam green, gray, hazel thing. It's nice and light, like I was saying a little bit earlier. There's a lot of variation in lights and darks in the tone, and I think it just plays really, really well with my eye. That limbal ring just hurts me a little bit, but you know what? I'm gonna see my way through it because I love it so much. All right, last and kind of sort of least is a Humboldt. This is my eye color. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This is why I kind of decided that I wasn't gonna wear all of these contact lenses one by one, because what's the point of putting this in my eye? I will say though, you know how I kind of like the eye brightening effect every now and then. Humboldt definitely kind of meshes with my eyes and does give it some additional highs and lows. So maybe if I'm just feeling like a nice little teddy bear warm brown and I just want to add a little pop, maybe these ones will work out for me. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into our enlarging set, starting things off with Pacific Breeze. Now this one was definitely a bit of a shocker for me because the way that it looks in the blister is not the way that it represents in the eye. I thought it was going to be more aqua blue, I thought it was going to be kind of obnoxious, but with this layered over my own natural eye color, it's like this really pretty dark denim blue with a little bit of a hazel gray. It's not super insanely apparent, but I think if you like shift it around a little bit, you really do get the color play. I think they blend really, really well together, and this is actually gonna be like my blue of choice when it comes to this set, just because of the way that it plays on my own eyes. Okay, so next up is Alpine, and this is like the true blue of the series. This is a little bit deeper than the really, really obnoxious blues out there. However, it is combined with that kind of like gray blue tone. And if anybody knows my histories about grays that go blue, it's not necessarily my favorite. However, this is gonna have just a little bit more of a pop than Pacific did. So if you're looking for a strong blue, this is gonna be right up your alley. Alright, so next up is Gravity, and I know that this is the year of Wicked. However, we are not defying this one because it is gorgeous. Let me just tell you right now. It is a mix, and I know, I just said, I don't love gray blues. However, it is paired with kind of like a hazel gray. So like the mix of the two together, oh my god, it's a little bit of like a mindfuck, and you know how much I love like the mindfuck colors. It's very pretty, but it's also kind of subtle. It's not like the stark combinations that we've kind of like seen in the Pacific Breeze, or you'll see in Melanie. Melanie is crazy, but this one is like just a great kind of like play with gray. And the fact that you can kind of like shift around the tone to different parts of your eyes, like you can push the blue gray more up, and then you can have more of like the hazel gray down at the bottom. Oh, it's really, really nice. I absolutely love this one. Now, speaking of things I love, the follow-up to that is Elkwood, and this one is quite gorgeous too. I do need to point out one thing. This does have a lighter limbal ring than some of the previous colors that we've seen. It kind of bugs me because I wish it did have the darker limbal ring. Like, you know, I like it to anchor in because I got that one wonky eye, and like, we just got to make sure that everything looks right. Not that it doesn't look right, it just looks more right with a darker limbal ring, at least for me. However, this one is a mix of like a gray, green, and like a hazel. It's like a really cool like play of warm and cool, literally. That's what it is. Like one side is a little bit warmer, the other side is a little bit cooler. They're both kind of in the hazel family, but they're not like, you know, brother and sister. They're more like cousins, so there's a little bit of like differentiation between the two, and it's just really, really pretty. And it is the one that I have chosen to wear on camera today because I did want to give you guys some close-ups. I know I said I wasn't going to do any close-ups. However, I do feel like this one kind of like, oh, it's just really, really nice. Alrighty, so the next one also features a lighter limbal ring. Dolce is a mix of brown with like another brown. It's a little bit of a cool brown, not necessarily a warm brown. Listen, it's brown on brown, and I have no other description of it other than that. Maybe it's like a latte mixed with a Affogato. I don't know. It's browns, you guys. And last but definitely not least is the shade that made me re-record all of the close-ups because the overcast lighting did not show how wackadoo this color is. Melanie is a warm brown, aka my eye color brown. Color CL always does a my eye color. I don't know why, but they paired it with a gray? A gray? Like, what do you mean, a gray? And so I looked at it again and I was like, holy crap, this is really kind of cool. And like I was saying earlier, with these duo shaded colors, you can actually shift around the color. So what I've done with Elkwood is I'll usually kind of like turn it so it's like halvesies, right? And there's certain other shades where I'll turn it so that the lighter color kind of appears at the bottom, which is what I did with Melanie. And I love the fact that it's like brown with just like a blah of like gray. Now, I'm not saying that this is like, you know, the best everyday lens out there, but it is like, what happened? What is going on here? And I love the mindfuck lenses, so this is definitely one of my favorites. It's strange, but I love it. Alrighty, so that about does it for my review of the Color CL Ultra Moist line extension. Of course, I have some recommendations for you. As you could probably tell, when it comes to the framing lenses, it's gonna be the Antigua, that beautiful like sea foamy green. I will deal with the green limbal ring. It's a little weird, but you know what? We could have gotten brown. That would have been nice, but whatever. And then when it comes to the more like, what is it called? The enlarging ones. Listen, these are not official names, by the way. These are the names that I've given them. Well, no, the names of the colors are official. The types of lenses are not official names. But I definitely love the Pacific Breeze because it's got that kind of dirty denim kind of like depth to it that I really, really like. I also liked Gravity. Gravity, that one is absolutely beautiful. And of course, Elkwood, I'm wearing it for you today. And Melanie, the craziest lenses of them all. Crazy Melanie. Listen, I get it's not going to be for everybody, but if you're all about playing with your lenses, that is definitely one of the ones to pick up. So if you guys like this video or found any of this information pertinent, please go ahead and bookmark my affiliate link down below and use my code ROB10 to get 10% off of your order. So with that said, that does it for me for now. Wow, what happened to me? I'm breaking down. I better go. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.